At the turn of the 21st century, this was what most of our mailbox looked like. And this was what our email inbox looked like. Fast forward 19 years later, we see that the situation is reversed, and checking your email is no longer exciting anymore. Welcome to the 4th video in this 5-part series, Direct Mail Advertising. Direct mailing is super simple. Just write a copy, stick it in an envelope, walk around your neighborhood, slide in your neighbor's mailbox, and you're done. Okay, got it? Alright, that's it for this video. I'll see you next time. Bye. Just kidding. Don't do that. In fact, it is illegal to put something in someone else's mailbox without a proper postage. Or at least that is what it's like in the US according to Title 18, Section 1725. Apparently, direct mailing isn't as simple as I had imagined, and this video is about to get very complicated. Types of direct mail advertising. There are 7 forms of direct mail advertising that you can choose from. Postcard is the most common form of direct mail advertising. It is simple, concise, and the receiver doesn't need to open an envelope to see it. It is also one of the cheapest options. The traditional letter conveys a more formal and serious message and are aimed at current or potential customers. It's usually accompanied by a professional letter with a lot of text. Self-mailer or brochure is a piece of paper folded down to a standard envelope size. It is used to introduce new customers about a product or service. It has the colorful appeal of a postcard and details of a letter. A flyer or circular is a sheet of paper that can be easily produced at home with a printer and provides enough space to include numerous promotions. Newsletter is often sent to customers on a monthly basis to inform them of the latest products, sales, or upcoming events. Catalog is the most expensive to print and to ship, but is the most comprehensive form of all direct mail advertising, because it is able to showcase most, if not all, product listings of a physical or an online store. It is also reserved for high-end products. A package is a sample of a product that's sometimes accompanied by a letter or coupons. It's a very effective way to gain new customers as well as retaining old, loyal customers. Now that we've learned the different materials which we can choose to print our ads on, we need to figure out who we want to advertise to. And for that, we need a mailing list. There are 2 types of mailing lists: saturation mailing list and targeted mailing list. A saturation mailing list includes all the addresses within a zip code. A saturation mailing list is also much cheaper than a targeted mailing list and could save you as much as 70% when compared to the latter. If you're going in with a saturation mailing list, make sure your product or service is affordable and appeals to the general public. Businesses that buy saturation mailing lists include restaurants, grocery stores, and large retailers. A targeted mailing list allows you to target your audience by demographic, geographic, and psychographic, or interest. An example of this can be to advertise to a 20-year-old male who is single and enjoys playing golf. A targeted mailing list is more expensive than a saturation mailing list because of its ability to target consumers. You can find a mailing list for almost anything: pet owner mailing list, business mailing list, renter mailing list, house owner mailing list, and much more. A targeted mailing list is reserved for businesses that offer niche products or services, or simply calling out to their existing customers. For example, I have a Nissan Altima, and that's pretty much the only brand I will ever get from a car dealership. I will never get a mail from, say, Ferrari or Lamborghini because they know that I am too darn broke to afford it. From their point of view, it wouldn't make sense to target everyone, right? They want to advertise only to those who could afford their cars. Businesses that buy targeted mailing lists include sports store, car dealerships, and lingerie shops. So where and how can you even acquire such mailing lists? For starters, you have your own house list that you probably compiled from your own list of customers who have either inquired about your business or have made purchase in the past. In most cases, your own list will yield a much better response rate than from someone else's list whose customers might have never heard about you. The best part is that it's free. You don't have to pay for a mailing list. List owners. You can buy or rent a mailing list from another business or organization. List managers. Maintaining and keeping an updated list of customers is hard work and very time-consuming. Some businesses hire outside firms to maintain their lists. You can buy or rent a mailing list from a list managing firm. List brokers. A list broker is a freelancer who connects a list owner or list manager with a potential list buyer. You can buy or rent a mailing list from a list broker. In addition, you don't even have to pay a commission for their service. The list owner or manager will eat the cost. Around 80% of all list rentals are made through list brokers. In the following list is a reputable list brokers that you can peruse. You can also find a list of brokers in your area from the yellow page. By now, you've probably heard me saying over and over that you could either buy or rent a mailing list. So what is the difference between the two? Renting a mailing list is the most common approach and is the least expensive, but you can only use the list once. However, if someone responds to your offer and buys your product or service, you can then add them to your in-house list. Now you might say, oh, I already have the list of names and addresses. Why would I need to rent it again? First is data hygiene, which refers to the accuracy of your mailing list. People move all the time, so you want to make sure the information you got is accurate. When you rent a list, it's usually cleaned or updated. Second, and this is super important, is called seeding. To prevent a rented list from being used again, list brokers have seed addresses mixed into the addresses in the mailing list. Similar to the game Minesweeper, these addresses are fake and only a handful, typically 1 to 4, are added to the list. Seedings are there to monitor the usage frequency, and if you're caught abusing it, there could be serious legal consequences. So don't do that. You can also buy a mailing list, and it will be more expensive than renting one. The upside is that it's yours to keep forever. The downside is that you have to make sure the contacts and names for the addresses are still relevant, and it could be a tedious task to maintain a mailing list. When renting a list, it's important to ask the following questions because some brokers may charge a lot for a lame list. How often are the lists cleaned or updated? When was the last time the list was cleaned? How many times has the list been rented? You don't want a list that's been rented a lot because by the time you reach your customers, they're broke. Do people who rented a list continue to rent it? Because if they do, then that means the list is effective. RFM. Recency, frequency, and monetary. How frequently do the prospects on the list make a purchase? When was their last purchase? How frequently do the prospects make a purchase? Are they multi-buyers or do they just buy once? People who buy a lot are inclined to buy more. Monetary means how much the prospects spend on each purchase. The more, the better. How many people rolled out, meaning mailed to everyone on the list? If they did that, it means the list works very well. Is the list a compiled list or a response list? A compiled list is comprised of people with similar interests and compiled from a database, magazine subscriptions, or associations. A compiled list is less expensive, but generates a lower response rate than a response list. A response list is comprised of individuals who have inquired, replied, or made a purchase in the past. A response list is more expensive but more effective than a compiled list. Make sure to ask if they're just inquirers or actual purchasers. Lastly, ask for free samples. Some list owners are so confident in their list that they're willing to give away a few hundred names for you to sample, because they know you would come back for more. If you are targeting businesses and are not interested in buying or renting a mailing list at all, you could build your own house list by looking up businesses in the yellow page, which is free, or buy a standard periodical directory for $2,000 and it has over 2,000 pages of business addresses and information. If you're in the restaurant business, you could also join a trade association like the NRA. Oh no, not this one. This NRA, to gain a plethora of mailing lists for restaurant businesses. Local associations like the Chamber of Commerce are an excellent source for reliable mailing lists. Just to review on what we've covered so far, a saturation mailing list covers everyone within the zip code. A targeted mailing list is more complicated, and you get to choose your own target preferences either by business, demographic, or interest. From there, you need to verify whether the list you want is just a compiled list of people or a response list consisting of active consumers. The cost of running a direct mail advertisement depends on several factors. Ad production. Direct mail advertising is pretty much a do-it-yourself commitment from the beginning to the end, and it could be very taxing on your physical and mental state. An ad production involves hiring a copywriter to write a script, a graphic designer to design your mail, the print material, print quantity, a mailing list, postage, a mailing permit, a staff or a team to assemble the mail, and an optional sample product. If we go with the cheapest format, such as a postcard, and the use of a saturation mail, the total cost of production could hover around $1,000 to mail out 1,000 pieces. However, if you choose to do everything yourself, it could cost slightly lower. All of this sounds very complicated, right? Well, good news. If you work with a mail house or direct mail service company, you can eliminate all of these frustrations. You just need a copywriter to help you write a good script, a mailing list, and a mailing permit. So what does a mail house do anyway? It helps you design your mail, print your letters, because doing it yourself is very costly. And a mail house has special machines to fold, insert, and seal letters quickly. They minimize mistakes and ship the mails for you. It includes all the necessary postage and delivery fee at a discount. Super cool. Mailing list. A house mailing list is free. A saturation mailing list is not cheap. A targeted mailing list is costly. But what if you don't have your own in-house list and are too cheap to buy a mailing list? Keep watching this video and I will show you how you can still advertise with direct mail without a mailing list. Volume discount. Most brokers require minimum orders of name per mailing list. If you order a lot, you may be qualified for a discount ranging from 10 to 60%. You can also get discount when shipping in large volumes. Tracking ROAS. With direct mail, you can offer coupons to keep track of your leads when your customers redeem them. You can also print QR codes onto your ads with a QR code generator to track customer engagement when they scan and redeem your offer. You can create your own QR codes for free. Other forms of advertising. Other form of direct mail advertising includes share publication mailing, or co-op mail. This concept originated in the 1980s, where advertisers could share the cost of mailing by packaging their ads one big bundle, or on the same page such as this. Sometimes they even come in a clear pack like a pack of Pokemon cards. Shared mail can save you as much as 90%, but the downside is your ability to target, and you're also facing against competitions. From a deck of 25 cards, 3 of which are probably pizza restaurants. Of course, you can always pay a little more to be placed on the top of the deck. Print materials like a postcard could range from 10 cents to $1 or more. A brochure could range from 25 cents to $1 or more. An 8-page catalog could range from $6 to $10 or more. Shipping fee. A postage for a normal postcard is 35 cents. When shipping in bulk, it costs 19 cents per piece. A postage for a normal letter is 55 cents. When shipping in bulk, it's 38 cents per piece. Mailing something over 13 ounces requires the use of priority mail, and it starts from $7.35 per piece. If you want overnight shipping, the Priority Mail Express starts from $25.50 per piece. Mailing lists. A saturation mailing list can range from $50 to $100 or more per 1,000 contacts. A targeted mailing list can range from $75 to $300 or more per 1,000 contacts. The following examples are from 2018. A Georgia consultant paid around 12 cents per name for a business list. A Rhode Island advertiser paid around 18 cents per name for a business list. A Florida plumber paid about 20 cents per name for a consumer list. A New Jersey media company paid around 6 cents per name for a consumer list. The format for a mailing list can either come through a CD, email, mail, or labels. Price comparison. This is what it looks like between a saturation mailing list and a targeted mailing list, and how much of a difference in revenue a targeted mailing list could generate. And these are some price comparisons between a targeted consumer list and a targeted business list. "40-40-20 rule. To run a successful direct mail campaign, you have to keep in mind of the 40-40-20 rule. 40% of your success comes from the effectiveness of your mailing list. Are you targeting the right audience? The other 40% of your success depends on your offer. Is it compelling enough for people to get off their couch and take action? The last 20% of your success relies on the design, print material, and the text of your ad. The typical response rate for direct mail advertising is between 2 to 6% for a prospect list. Your in-house list could be as high as 9% or more. But keep in mind that your response rate does not equal to success rate. Why is that? For example, you're in the real estate business, and of the 100 letters you sent out, you only got one response. Your $600 expense on direct mail advertising could potentially translate to a $5,000 return and a $4,400 profit after expense. On the other hand, if you're in the restaurant business and of the 100 letters you sent out, you only got one response back, your $600 expense on direct mail advertising could translate to a $15 return, but a $585 loss. So the response rate does not equal to success rate. It's what you sell that determines the success. Okay, are you ready to find out how you could launch your own direct mail advertising campaign without a mailing list? Here's how it works. The United States Postal Service has a service on their website called Every Door Direct Mail, or EDDM, that allows you to send your mail to every address within the mail carrier's route. On the website, you start off by entering your full address or just zip code. My zip code, 95132, covers a pretty large area. In this picture, I've selected a route that includes 447 addresses, and the total is $83.59. In this picture, I selected a second path, which leads me to 1,255 addresses, and the total now is $234.69. When you're ready to check out, click Continue to create an account or sign in with an existing account. Here, you select the date you want to mail your letters and pay either online or at the post office. And that's it. Oh, and you also need to print out a few facing slips and separate the mails into bundles. For example, I'm sending out 1,000 pieces. That means I have to separate them into 10 stacks of 100 mail pieces. I would then need to apply a facing slip on top of each stack. Lastly, I will need to print out my mailing statement to deliver my orders. If you're going with EDDM and don't have an ad at hand, you could work with the designers at EDDM to choose a template that best fits your business. Now, there are two types of EDDM: EDDM Retail and EDDM BMEU. Most businesses go with EDDM Retail because you don't need a mailing permit. But you're also limited to sending only 5,000 pieces a day within that zip code. So, what is the difference between EDDM and saturation mailing? Well, EDDM is pretty much the same as saturation mailing, except you can't really target your customers. With EDDM, your letters are limited in size and weight, so you can't send thick brochures or catalogs. You can't personalize your ads because you don't have the people's name or addresses. You can't choose which address you want to target or avoid specifically. With EDDM, your mail is delivered to every household on that carrier route. For example, if your business is lawn care or landscaping and half of the addresses on that carrier route are apartments, they won't be able to use your service, so you're losing serious money there. Now, it may not seem like much, but if each letter costs you $1 a piece and there are 60 apartment addresses, that's $60 wasted. With your own saturation mailing list, you can choose who to mail it to and which addresses to avoid. Lastly, the money you saved on postage with EDDM might not worth all the time spent compiling your letters. A mail house does all the heavy lifting for you, including mailing the letters. If you're running a restaurant, then EDDM is a good fit for you. If you're targeting businesses, this service might not be appropriate. And this is what the postage for EDDM looks like. So the next time you see this on a letter, you'll know that they used EDDM. So what is the outlook for direct mail advertising? Is it still worth your time and money? According to the United States Postal Office in 2017, 55% of people said they look forward to seeing what's inside their mailbox. In another study, also from 2017, by Data and Marketing Association, DMA, claimed that because our email is getting more overwhelmed by unsolicited marketing emails, 70% of Americans actually prefer snail mail. They feel that a traditional mail feels more personal than an email, and being personal is extremely important in direct mail marketing. That being said, direct mail also has a tendency to be spammy. And a study in 2015 by the Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, estimated that 44% of junk mails are tossed without ever being opened or read. When doing direct mail marketing, you want to make sure you have a clean mailing list that's updated at least once a year, because 1 in 4 adults in the US move every 5 years, around 11 times in their lifetime. If you did your research and targeted the right audience, a report by DMA in 2018 revealed that direct mail advertising pulls in a much higher response rate than any other digital advertising mediums. Direct mail pros. So what are the perks for advertising with direct mail? Reach. When buying a mailing list, you can determine where and to whom you want to advertise. Focus on local customers. With EDDM, you can advertise locally at an affordable rate. Effective targeting. With direct mail, you could pinpoint your targeted audience much more effectively than TV or radio advertising. Personalization. Nothing can win a girl's heart like a persuasive sales letter, or something along the line. The point is, the more personal you get to your customers, the more likely they will put their trust in you. Longer retention. Some promotions come with expiration dates to create a sense of urgency. Some businesses eliminate expiration dates with the hope that the customers will drop by eventually, which they do, because some people may not need a teeth clean right now, and they will probably give you a call when they do. Tracking ROAS. You can send coupons or apply QR codes on your ads to track your leads. Promotions. People love to save. It's been proven to be more effective than just advertising. In fact, no other medium does it better than a direct mail that comes with a free sample. Direct mail cons. So what are the disadvantages for advertising with direct mail? Cost. Going with the cheapest mailing list, print material, and postage, a single ad will still run around 75 cents. When you compare it to a 30-second Super Bowl commercial that costs $5 million, but is able to reach 98 million people at 5 cents per viewer, direct mailing is extremely expensive. If you're in the business selling soap and you have a large variety of inventory, you might want to look into mailing catalogs. But remember, an 8-page catalog can cost $6 or more. So unless you are a big company, ain't nobody got money for that. Production. Unlike other advertising mediums where the advertisers will take care of everything after you've submitted your materials, in direct mail advertising, you're responsible for every step. So do yourself a favor and work with a mail house. Spam. 44% of junk mails are tossed without being opened. Find a way to make your offer compelling and irresistible. Okay, I believe we've covered everything we needed to know about direct mail advertising. In the final part of the series, we will be covering online advertising. If you're interested in direct mail advertising, keep in mind of the 40-40-20 rule. 40% of your success depends on your mailing list, the other 40% relies on your offer, and the last 20% is from your advertising design. Lastly, please work with the mail house. It will save you so much time, effort, money, and mistakes. Thanks for watching, and I will see you on my next video.